All right, I am here with David Azizi from the law offices of David Azizi, and something that a lot of people ask or search for on the internet is, can I file a personal injury claim independently without a lawyer? And there are actually forms, just like filing your taxes. If you really want to file your taxes, you can find IRS forms. Most things that there is a legal system, the forms are available online. We would always suggest considering hiring a lawyer just because of the expertise and the verbiage inside these forms. There will probably be parts of the forms where, just like with an application for something, you may not know the answer. That's why a lawyer is so valuable. They have been doing it for years. So David, if someone wants to file a car accident claim or a personal injury car accident claim, what form do they need in California, and where exactly can they find it?
All right, well, as far as filing a lawsuit for a car accident, there's two ways you can do it. One way is to use the judicial council forms, which some of the forms you have to use irrespective of whether you're doing a long form pleading complaint or you're doing totally a judicial council form complaint. But one of the easier methods of trying to do it is to do all the judicial council form complaints instead of a pleading long form complaint. A pleading long form complaint is where you have a caption and you write out all the bases and all the causes of actions for your lawsuit. A judicial council form has somewhat tried to simplify the process, and in turn what they've done is they've come up with a personal injury complaint that could be used for several types of causes, claims: auto accident, premises liability, product defect cases, and so on. And there's attachments. Like you said, it's very complicated. It may look like a lot of times just a bunch of boxes you check off, but unless you know what exactly you're doing and you've had experience, you're going to have difficulty in filing one of these complaints. I've had often new associates or new grads from law school, even with their legal knowledge, trying to draft these particular forms, and they're lost. They're like, oh, what do I put here? Which one do I check off? And attorneys like myself, who's seasoned and has done this for years and years, I can do a form complaint within a matter of 10 minutes and get it filed with the court within an hour. But in case anybody wants to go ahead and take matters into their own hand and try to file a lawsuit and pursue a claim on their own hand, for example, maybe a statute's coming up. The forms, again, this is not to give any legal advice because in every case it's different and distinct and it depends on the case. I would highly advise that you go ahead and consult with an attorney before going and filing. And this is just necessarily just to advise as to what some of the forms are that the courts regularly require, but it's highly, and I mean really highly advisable to contact the court, make sure what documents need to be obtained, or at least consult an attorney maybe on an hourly basis to find out what forms need to be filed in order to make sure that your claim is proper. Because if a statute is coming up and you don't file the right paperwork, it could get rejected by the courthouse and your time comes and goes, and thereafter you've lost your chances. And the courts will reject sometimes documents and say, if this is not proper, you're missing this document, they'll reject it, your statute comes, and it's done. But in every lawsuit, you have to have a summons. The Judicial Council form for summons is SUM-100. Most cases will require you to also have a civil case cover sheet, which also is CM-010, what is what you have to file as a civil case cover sheet, and there's boxes that you have to check off. For example, Los Angeles Superior Court House has an additional form, which is called the Civil Case Cover Sheet Addendum and Statement of Location. And again, that's just particular to the City of Los Angeles, and like I was stating is, in some venues or jurisdictions, they do have their own forms that you need to file in addition to your complaint. And the one for Los Angeles is LA-CV-109 is what you would have to file in addition to that. Moving on, as far as the complaint that needs to be filed, that again is a Judicial Council form, which is a complaint for personal injury, property damage, and wrongful death, and that is PLD-PI-1 001, which is a form that you have to obtain and fill out all the necessary information. For example, one of the items that you would need to fill out on the part for attorney is, if you're representing yourself, is you have to, instead of putting attorney, you put improper. But these are, like I say, particular items that you got to know how to fill out to be able to do it right. Then, in addition to that form, there's judicial counsel forms that are particular for causes of actions. For example, a cause of action for motor vehicle is PLD-P1 or PI-001, open parentheses 1, close parentheses. Then you would also probably need to, in my cases, I also file a cause of action for general negligence as well, and that's PLD-PI-001, open parentheses 2, close parentheses. That's another cause of action that you can file in auto accident case. Those are just the forms, and I don't know how much to stress that this is not in any way providing legal advice as to how to file your own lawsuit. It's simply providing guidance as to what are some of the forms that are used to file a auto accident case. There's still a slew of additional information that you would need to know as to how to fill out. And with regards to that, my advice is, if you've been seriously injured in an accident, the last thing you want to do is to deal with having to file a complaint on your own behalf and litigating your own case. It's well worth your time and money to spend on getting an attorney who can take care of all this stuff so you can focus on getting back to health and dealing with everything else in your life, such as working, dealing with your family, and being able to enjoy your life as to dealing with all this legal stuff, which can get complicated.
Absolutely. And for those that want all those form numbers and all that information, I know that was a lot to digest. That will be available at the link below, which will be provided at davidazizipersonalinjury.com. So you can go on that and get we will link to the California Judicial Board website, and you can get those forms. But as you have heard in this Hangout interview, it can be very, very difficult. So as always, consider your options before making any final decisions. And if you would like to contact the law offices of David Azizi, the phone number will be above and below in the YouTube information. Thank you for your time, David.
All right, thank you.